Hi everybody! Welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we're going to talk about put purpose at the core of your strategy. Now that is something that is very near and dear to my heart, because I believe that people who are able to put purpose at the core of their strategy will win in life. The odds are stacked against you. You're gonna lose more than you win. You're gonna have more setbacks than you have accomplishments. And if you're not clear on why you're doing what you're doing, you will quit. You will throw in the towel when times get tough. So it is imperative that all of us really understand how to put purpose at the core of our strategies. Let's dive in. So I want to share with you an article that was written by Naval Ravikant. Now, Naval is one of the most thoughtful people that I know. He has this newsletter called Sunday. I think it used to be called Sunday Thoughts, but now it's just called Sunday. And he sends out these emails every week. Every Sunday he sends out this email, and in it he shares his thoughts on business, on society, on technology, on the economy. He is brilliant. One of my favorite people on Twitter. I mean, he tweets sporadically, but when he does tweet, it's brilliant. So anyway, I digress. I am a huge fan of this guy. And a few years ago, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, he wrote this article called The Maker's Schedule versus the Manager's Schedule. In it, he talks about how most people are living on the manager's schedule, and it is killing them. This is the manager's schedule: deep work 9 to 5, meetings from 9 to 12, lunch at 12, then back to deep work until 5 p.m., meetings 5 to 6 p.m., dinner 7 p.m. onwards. That is the manager's schedule. The problem is, when you operate on the manager's schedule, there's no time for creation. There's no time for building something new. All you're doing is reacting. You're putting out fires. You're doing what people tell you to do. You're doing what you were told to do last week. I challenge you right now to look at your calendar. Look at your calendar right now. What does your schedule look like? How much of your time is blocked off for deep focused work, where you can actually get into flow and build something great? And how much of it is meetings and appointments and things that you have to do because somebody else said you have to do it? And I think if you look at your calendar, you will see that the vast majority of your time is spent on other people's priorities. This is the trap that we find ourselves in. We are working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks. We're grinding. We're hustling. We're stressed out, but we have nothing to show for it because we're just operating on the manager's schedule. So here's the solution. Here's how we get out of this. This is what the maker's schedule looks like. Work on your highest priority task for 2 hours. Take an hour off. Come back and work for another 2 hours. Have lunch. Take a break. Take a walk. Come back. Work for another 2 hours. Go home. Take the evening off. And here's the key. Sleep in. Sleep late. Wake up whenever you want. That's the maker's schedule. Now, you may say, well, I can't do that. My job doesn't allow me to do that. I have to work 8 hours a day. I have to work 40 hours a week. You can't. If you're working 40 hours a week at a job that doesn't make you happy, you're working for somebody else's dream. You're working for somebody else's vision. But here's the thing. You only have 24 hours in a day. You only have 168 hours in every week. And what you decide to do with those hours is entirely up to you. So many of us spend way too much time working for other people's dreams, trying to please other people, trying to make other people happy, trying to make our bosses happy, so that they can give us a pat on the head and say, good job. But in the process, we forget about our own dreams. We forget about our own purpose. So here's the question I want you to think about. If you could do anything in the world, if you could pursue any path, if you could follow any dream, what would it be? Let me ask it another way. If you knew you couldn't fail, if you knew that everything was going to work out, what would you be doing right now? Most of us have dreams, we have aspirations, we have goals, but we never really think about them. We don't think about them because we're afraid. We're afraid to fail. We're afraid of what other people will think. We're afraid of what our parents will think. So we bury our dreams, we bury our goals, and we end up just working for other people's dreams. This is what happens to most people. This is what happened to me. I went to college, got a degree in political science, got a job at a bank, in the financial industry, worked 80, 90 hours a week, made a lot of money, had a nice apartment, drove a nice car, all the trappings of success, but I was miserable. I hated what I was doing. I didn't know what to do next. I felt stuck. So here's the secret to getting unstuck. Here's the secret to being able to make progress towards the things that are important to you. Put purpose at the core of your strategy. In other words, figure out what your North Star is, what your guiding light is, what your dreams are, what your goals are, and then make sure that everything you do every single day moves you closer to that thing. I left the financial industry and I started to look for my purpose, started to look for my passion. I started writing on the internet. I wrote articles. I started this channel. I've now written several books, and the reason I've been able to do all these things is because I've put purpose at the core of my strategy. I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly what I want to accomplish in this world. And I know that if I stick to that path, if I'm willing to grind it out, if I'm willing to sacrifice, if I'm willing to go through the pain, that eventually I will be successful. Here's the thing. The odds are stacked against you. You're gonna lose more than you win. You're gonna have more setbacks than you have accomplishments. And if you're not clear on why you're doing what you're doing, you will quit. You will throw in the towel when times get tough. That is why you need to have purpose at the core of your strategy. I want you to think about some of the most successful people that you know. Think about your favorite entrepreneurs. Think about your favorite business people. Think about people who are doing amazing things in the world today. What do they all have in common? They all have a sense of purpose. They know why they're doing what they're doing. They know that what they're doing is bigger than themselves. I'll give you an example. One of my best friends started this nonprofit organization, and the mission of this nonprofit is to help underprivileged kids get access to education. And he is so passionate about this cause that he spends every waking moment trying to make this a reality. He travels all over the world. He goes to India, he goes to Africa, he meets with politicians, he raises money, he recruits volunteers, and he's been doing this for years. And the reason he has been able to do this for so long is because he knows why he is doing it. He knows that what he's doing is making a difference in these kids' lives. He knows that he's giving these kids hope for a better future. I want you to think about the kind of impact you want to make in the world. What kind of difference do you want to make? How do you want to change the world? Because if you can answer that question, then you will be unstoppable. You know, we live in a world today where everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to make a lot of money, but very few people are willing to do what it takes to be successful. Very few people are willing to put in the hard work, to make the sacrifices, to take the risks. Because, let's face it, success is scary. Success means leaving your comfort zone. Success means doing things that other people aren't willing to do. But that's where the magic happens. That's where the difference makers are made. So I want you to think about what kind of legacy you want to leave behind, what kind of impact you want to make. And then I want you to put that at the core of your strategy. Make sure that everything you do every single day moves you closer to that thing. Because that is the key to success. That is the key to happiness. That is the key to living a life on your terms. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I always love connecting with you guys and chatting with you. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.